Hello everyone, MarcusWolfe here, welcoming you all back to another episode of Disco Elysium. Last episode I've come to the sad realization that I might be gatekeeped into selling either the filament or Kim's wheel rims that he confiscated and that he likes. I don't like either response. So, let's see.
Layer of coal dust covers the
Oh, I can actually try again. Oh, thank God.
Pitch black.
Thank God I can try it again. Please. Oh, no. I'm gonna find a way to miss this, aren't I? Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Before I do this, is there a way to increase my physical instrument? Yes. Put this on, please, for love of God. Can I take off my clothes to have physical instrument? I cannot. That is a orange bum hat. No. Okay, well. We're gonna have to get this shot, aren't we? Good luck to me. We're gonna fail miserably. We are going to fail miserably. Work it! Please. There we go. I forgot how to get out of here for a moment. Okay.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
I have to try this. I have to try. I need 5. I need a 5. Please, for love of God, give me a 5.
Something.
Oh, thank you.
Loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello?
You hear a woman's voice answer. Ooh. Maybe we shouldn't start with this. They might clam up. Hello? Are you up there? Speak to me if you can hear.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
you hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Ah. Thank you, game, for having mercy upon my soul. Maybe I can whittle away enough time that the next day will approach, and I can continue the game without having to be gatekeeping into this money issue. Because I think that's the only way I can do this now, by passing time. But I cannot sit on a bench because Kim is with me. Which is surprising, because I'm surprised that he's safe. It's almost 1 in the morning, dude. That's kind of late. The safety curtain's open. Hello. Oh. Hello? Wait, is it the furnace? Oh, that's frightening. You live in this what if someone turns on the heat? You're gonna be cooked alive, girl. Well, there's a window open. So maybe this is more of a room? Above the furnace? Or, no, maybe it's just a room that is close to the furnace with the furnace pipe leading to up here. Which would make sense, but that's kind of frightening. And why would you... You can... It's very interesting that you can lock the door from your side. It's a safety curtain. I would kind of expect you can close it from outside, not inside. How is that a safety curtain? That seems more like a death curtain. I'm sorry, that really does. Anyway. This tray is full of dice. Colorful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of Are you one of the creators for that Dungeons and Dragons game? Oh, if so... Oh, this might be my breakthrough for that filament. That might be my breakthrough. Hello?
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools, with emerald light shining through her hair. Okay, forgive me, Nia, but you kind of remind me of that girl in the painting, the girl with the pearl earring. Really, no, I'm serious, that profile, all you're missing is the pearl earring, but that profile kind of reminds me of that painting, the girl with the pearl earring. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Wait, I'm sorry. What do you mean by Milius?
Yes, a Milius is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Well, thank you for the explanation, but I'm afraid you confused me with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Well, sure. I do like some role-playing games myself. I could use a set of dice.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shells like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How exactly did you decide to become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Okay, you know what? That's actually honestly very cool. From a jeweler to a custom dice maker, and especially when she's making it from scratch. Yeah, like I suppose the techniques between a dice crafting and a jeweler, some of the techniques I can see being the same. Like, obviously, jeweler, you're not necessarily just polishing stones. You're also, depending on your field of work, cutting stones and making them look into nice shapes. So same idea, but with dice. That's actually pretty cool how she took a field that she studied in that she felt was too competitive and not for her, and transformed it into something else that fits with her skills. That's very cool. I like that. I really do like that. Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Oh, trust me. Rhetoric, I don't need you to tell me that. I know firsthand. I don't spend big money, but my god. I know some people will go nuts for the rare first edition of Final Fantasy VII, for example, even though it's not that expensive these days. Bad example, but you know what I mean. Better yet, like those horror games, Haunting Ground. I think it's like, what, $400 right now? $250 for an okay condition without a box? It's expensive. Some nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty games, novelty items, rare games. It's like breaking the bank. Ugh. Where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks up at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal black soot here and there. The chimney of an old central furnace. Well, clearly, okay, either this window was created afterwards, or this is like a maintenance area for the chimney, which I think it might be.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Creative.
No, that actually is creative. That is. The captain looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into the shadows above.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Aside from you, everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Well, there used to be a hair salon here, right? At least based on the doorbell plaque downstairs at the front door.
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
I can see her point. Yeah, some specific people do tend to be scared of things that don't conform to, in her case of what she mentioned, gender norms, like genderless haircuts. I can see some people being off-put by that, like, say, genderless haircuts? God, no.
It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
I mean, honestly, what's wrong with a bit of experimentation? Customers should have been more open-minded.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
She tucks a strand of hair under the headscarf. It's possible. Sometimes things are ahead of their time, and it just doesn't work now. And then 50 years later, it works, so it's weird. And how about the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs. A community-centric boxing club.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
Oh, he's sort of the king around here.
Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out the window, her face reflecting back in the dark.
I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
I hate to say it, but I do agree with you. Now, who exactly, was this, Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Oh, that's honestly pretty cool. How did that project end up working out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I think I see what happened with that. Artemitep started up the boxing thing to help at-risk youth. And that's fair. There's a lot, even in the real world, there's a lot of at-risk youth programs and such to work with. Unfortunately, it sounds like, in this case, it went the opposite direction. It did attract at-risk youth, except that the at-risk youth didn't exactly want to take part of the program. They just wanted to, use it as a gathering place to continue doing at-risk stuff. At-risk behavior. And yeah. Yeah, Artemitep's heart was in the right place. It's just that the the actual area was not quite welcoming about having an at-risk program. That's quite unfortunate. What's up with all the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right?
24 hours a day service?
Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milius. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Huh. Interesting. Honestly, it's honestly a shame about those windows, but I'm sorry, what exactly is a snuff milieu?
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
I'm sorry, what? What? Broadcasting real I'm sorry, that's... Oh god, sure, what? I mean, I suppose things like that do happen in the real world, although that's probably like some, like, deep net, dark net stuff. I mean, sure, whatever floats your boat, but why? Why do we need to broadcast real murders with real victims? It's sick. No, that's honestly very sick. Oh god. And here I thought snuff milieu was going to be a drug. Oh boy, was I wrong. Did anyone around here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts of them lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else?
Oh, well, I suppose that wasn't very interesting. Fair. About the creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists? What the...
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
But, insects don't have any brains or feelings.
Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else?
You know, I know I keep going on tangents with each of these topics, but that's fair. It's like, this is like in real world where some people will just protest over anything and everything. And it becomes a great surprise when something actually sticks. I mean, using this as an example, protesting the use of insect exoskeletons. I was thinking, if it was something about like an animal, like using dog fur to make clothes, okay, yeah, but insects? I mean, unless these insects are rare species, which would then make sense, why? People, see, again, it's very interesting what people will protest about, and how some of the craziest things would actually stick and take off. It's very interesting. What's with the rollerblades and skis in that small room back there?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, Their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. And what do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
The lieutenant is stern.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those keys and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just the props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
Okay, thank you, Interfacing. That was a very random thought. I mean, cool, but random. So basically, embezzling. Yeah, embezzling. Started up the company, made all these promises, decided to pivot because it seemed more lucrative, and then decided, bye-bye! You're right, Kim. Men like that are a curse. They really are. They play with people's feelings and money. I found this strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up her face.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral. They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
Chronically liberal? What do you mean? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did read some of their notes hinting at that. What exactly went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway, as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Well, from what I've seen, the project did look quite impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic, and to show up to work on time.
Huh. That's really too bad. I would have supported them. I mean, just by looking at their rough drafts and notes out there, the project looked great. It honestly was a great idea.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
We would have crit failed then, huh? That's cool. That's a cool detail. If you don't know about tabletop role-playing games, this will just fly over your head. But Dungeons and Dragons, a 1 is called a crit fail. So that's just kind of like driving her point where she said not the wisest decision. Would have lost our money. We would have made a crit fail.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermy bear in the cellar that kind of looked like a freezer.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed, what were the other ideas?
Okay, I'll bite. What were their other ideas?
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
She leans back, disapproving.
Fritte does the same thing.
Huh. You know, what did they expect? 20 cents per hour is dog's pay. I'm surprised anyone showed up to work at all.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear? How does it fit in to all this?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. Ah. I suppose it, didn't work out then.
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted.
Well, you're putting it in a fridge. You're supposed to put it in a freezer. And no one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. That is fair, that is fair.
Eventually, Ravishaw Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
Well, that's the market doing its job.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean.
Why?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Sounds cool.
Megatherion?
Megatherion.
Not...
A mega wild beast.
Oh. What exactly entails a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life. By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
Oh. More drugs. Well, I have no comment on drugs.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad, finishing the story. Oops. No, stop it. Oh my god, computer! Thank you.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
Quite clearly, I mean, you practically know every business in this building. I am quite surprised. That's how long you've been in here. And they actually allow you to set up shop in the chimney network of the furnace. Rent-free. Because it's technically not a room. That... Girl, you know... You are the only business left here that's still working, and you are amazing. You really are amazing. Out of everyone that had an official place of business, an official space out there, they all failed. And here you are in a place that's not even a room, making the greatest of your life here. You really are. I swear, I'm serious. Like, hats off to you. Kudos to you. You are amazing. You truly are. I found the building's intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
Oh. So, is the doorbell with the empty name card yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
Oh, so she's been here a while, but she's never had her own doorbell. Well, I suppose it's fair when everyone else is here and, you know, they're occupying the doorbells, so that's kind of fair. I was wondering about the Whirling in Rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom, albeit I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the Dune commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
Jeez, that's quite dark, Inland Empire, but I suppose you're right. I mean, this entire building we're in is just failed businesses. Except for Niha, I think that's her name, Niha. She is thriving, and again, kudos to her. In basically a building full of commerce death, she has thrived. That is amazing. That really is amazing to thrive in what is basically a realm of death. That's quite good. She's a phoenix rising from the ashes, quite literally. I saw a name, East Delta Pinball, on the doorbell.
Right, it used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick track, especially pinball.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'm not a fan of pinball. I mean, I'll play it maybe for a few minutes, but I won't go crazy over it. So I can kind of see their point. It's not the most, enthralling of things to do. A strange thing happened when I tried calling a company called Slipstream SCA. Someone actually answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
No, it wasn't Plaisance. This voice said she was from Tricentennial Electronics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
There's a moment before she recognizes the name.
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
100 years ago? Tricentennial Electrics?
It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
Yeah, you're right. I probably just got made fun of.
Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
Well, thank you for answering those. If you don't mind, I do have a few more questions, about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
Some more about the intercom.
I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work.
Oh, never mind.
But
Okay,
sure,
yeah, quite
I'm
literally.
listening.
Actually, I'm sorry. No, I had other questions aside from the building. I'm sorry.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
I've heard that this place is cursed. Did you know people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Well, Plaisance was the one who sent me. She's convinced that this place is just swarming with all this malicious energies and whatnot.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Well, I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet, considering where it's located. That's why I'm here investigating, to see what's going on.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
No, the whirling isn't doing all too well either. Its waitress just took off and customers are having trouble paying their bills.
And then there is me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Hey, it's possible, like, honestly. Honestly, yeah. Well, I'll be honest. Plaisance thinks it's because you're the source of it. A malignant entity, if you will.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
No. In fact, I think you're a great example of someone thriving in a place that's built upon terrible, destroyed business ideas. Honestly, and I think that's all it is. There is no curse, just natural market fluctuations and business decisions gone bad.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see. The bookstore closes starting 2100. You'll have to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Shivers. Why hasn't her business failed? No, really? That is something. Oh, jeez. I have more questions about this
I'm
building.
listening.
Never mind. No.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
I do thank you for explaining everything to me about this building and its history. But I'm afraid there is one thing that I have been putting off, only because it's rather distasteful. Do you happen to know about the man that was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
She stops to try and come up with a suitable example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
And you never took your eyes off your work to look out the window.
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
I see. And do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
Of course. Well, thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
I'm afraid not. At least not for the moment. Well, that is so nice. That is amazing. Like, she's been here 14 years and she has survived the insanity that was this building complex, this business complex. She is honestly amazing. I know she's a video game character, but I have respect for her. I do. To be here for so long and see everyone around you quite literally fall apart in the business, and yet you yourself are still thriving. It's amazing. And I do agree with one of my thought processes where they said it may be because her talents managed to woo the curse. If there is a curse, well, she's got the talent and the know-how to perform her job. Maybe if there is a curse, maybe it only, goes for people that do not have good business practices. But she's got it. She definitely has it. That said, we did have a potential witness, and unfortunately, it did not pan through. We have no witnesses. This is terrible. Although, in fairness, having asked her all those questions before going into, the main lynching question, I do believe her. She has been nothing but truthful on all our answers, and every response that she made was was very natural. To the point that when we asked her about the hanging, she said it very naturally too. I do not believe she's lying. I believe she's telling the truth. She did not see a thing. And especially if it happened at night, you try, even though it's, you should try it sometime. Even though it's a dead of night and is light in your house, you try looking out the window in pitch black. You'll see nothing. So I believe her on that. I do. So, I managed to squeeze in one more episode without having to pay for anything. I don't know if I can keep this up any longer, but yay, we did get some great information. It's kind of unfortunate that she had no inkling of the password. I really did hope that she would have had an inkling about it, but it's what it is. Close the water lock on Wednesday, the jam mystery. Yeah, that's the new one. I did investigate the Doom commercial area, and I will talk to Plaisance in the morning. Pay for damages. Oh, God, I don't want this. Joyce's info. Joyce? Who's oh, her. Yeah. Yeah. The smoker on the balcony. Ask around for his apartment number. Oh. I need to ask around for his... Couldn't I just knock on those 3 doors that are clearly there? Come on, that's kinda unfortunate, but whatever. Okay, that's great. No, that was a lot of fun. That I would say of all the conversations I had here, yeah, it wasn't funny, like, humorous, but I liked talking with this lady. I really did. She is the example of a business that has thrived despite the entire building just going, for lack of a better term, tits up. Well, no, not balls to the wall. Balls to the wall indicates YOLO, let's do it. Tits up indicates, oh, things went bad. I just realized that the commentary on that is very sexist. It's like, tits up, so okay, women are bad news, but balls to the wall, the men know how to do it. I just realized those two sayings are quite somewhat sexist. Oh, that's the bookstore. I can't leave through the bookstore. Duh. Okay, that's fine. Well, as I try to make my way out of this place and see if there's anything in the dead of morning, allow me to say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all on the next episode, where, actually, you know what, while I do that, say goodbye, and I'll see you all on the next episode, while I hope that I do have the password now.
Please repeat.
Password?
Good.
I don't. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yeah. Bye, lady. Yes, bye, voice. Bye, everyone.